Hi, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel. I think this light is a little too bright for me. I have a little ring light and it's hit me right in the face. I don't know if I'm used to that. Welcome everybody. Hopefully I don't know who's here. I know I'm starting before the time that I had scheduled. I do apologize. Hopefully notifications go out. Let me see. I see that I got 6 people in the house. Welcome everybody. I see Dee. Hey Jen. Hey Pika. Heidi. Leah says I'll be there, but I'm praying this stuff is not true. Welcome everybody, y'all. Make sure you guys go vote. Let me give the people some time to get in here, because I just started and I changed the time and whatnot. You guys got your notification? Wow, I'm surprised. I literally changed it like 5. I was like, let me just just start it. Welcome everybody. Hey Nikwa, welcome. I see Layla. I see Hey Itsen. How are you? Kimmy, welcome. Tina, welcome. Oh, my bracelet just fell. Truth Seeker, welcome. Emily Pickle, welcome. Lovey Cats. Ooh, every time I have to go live, my nose starts acting up. Tina, Dee, Pika, welcome everybody. Heidi, how you doing? Belen, how are you? Marshmallow, welcome. Shout out to you. How's everybody doing? First of all, it's Saturday. We got to get into the stuff that's been put out there right now. Tasha K, welcome. Shout out to you. Dee. Ooh, you like my eyeliner? Girl, I thought I went a little too heavy. I was like, this is a little too much, but whatever. Hey Fairy in the chat, welcome. Shout out to you. Just do it, please. Cheryl, welcome. How you doing, love? Kimmy, welcome. Oh man. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Popping in to say hello. Y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Vicky. Shout out to you. Thank you for stopping by. Kimmy, everybody. DJ, thank you. Shout out to you. Heidi. All right. Jojo and Jojo Nanny, welcome. Lovely lady, welcome. Oh, yes, number 52 to hit that like button. Please hit that like. Thank you. She said, I'm not a fan of the man, but I know who he is. I definitely want to follow the case and see what the outcomes will bring. Yes, I have seen a couple of attorneys break this little lawsuit down. And everybody's got some opinions about it and whatnot. Even Garth Brooks himself has responded, which we could watch a little bit of that, which is great. But I think, honestly, when I put a poll up on my community tab, I said, you guys, we got to talk about all of them, and whether you like Garth, because I know there's a lot of Garth fans out there. Shout out to you. Depending on where you land, I think it's important to at least get the information. What is it that's been said, and go from there. It doesn't hurt to know the information. There's a lot of people, at least for me, when stuff came out about R. Kelly, I was a fan of R. Kelly, right? Diddy is also another person that people were fanatics of, that has long been rumored about different things that have happened. You know what I mean? So I think it's good to keep an open mind, and also note that some of us, just because you're a fan doesn't mean that you know the person. You know what I mean? We have to stop and examine some of these paranormal, parasocial relationships that we've developed. It's always good to know. There's no poll for not a fan. I know, huh, Bex? I'm sorry. I messed up the poll. You said I grew up listening to Garth Brooks. Classic country is my everything. Says shout out to Flor. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. Hey, eat more pizza. How's everybody doing? So happy I'm getting to catch you live. I've had a horrible week with Tyler. I'm so sorry. I hope you're doing well. Kim's in the house. Beautiful, messy balm. You said I don't like him either way. Yeah, regardless whether you like him, you know him, you don't. You just never know. Renee, welcome. Yes, I would agree with you on that, my love. I really do. All right. You said nothing surprises me. People, shooting out with receipts. Generally, the perpetrator is careful not to have witnesses. Well, there's that. Welcome. Hey, real deal. All right, y'all. Well, shout out to you guys. I appreciate everybody for being here. We're going to get started because we got a lot to review. Now, one of the things I want to talk about before we get started to Garth Brooks is, and this news doesn't really I know that investigators have been hired for this. So I guess Tupac's family hires an investigator to find the link between Sean Diddy Combs and Tupac's death. Now, to be quite honest with you, we've been knowing. At least I have. There's no receipts. Keefe D went out talking to Vlad TV and other folks about the fact that he knew, that he knew more about Tupac's death. Okay. And here we are. Keefe D is, sitting in a jail right now, facing charges and whatnot. He's about to go to trial, I think this month or next month. I forget when. The FBI has released a lot of the files that they've had on this investigation. There's been so many things that has happened from this investigation, from the shooting, that honestly, like, it's a lot of investigations. Like, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens with their investigation. One of the questions that I have that really we're not talking about is the death of Biggie. The death of Biggie is one that I feel like also needs to be investigated, because in my opinion, I don't have any receipts for this or whatsoever, but I do wonder the link between Diddy and Biggie and the death there. Like, did this man have something to do with this? Did he orchestrate something? Because to me, Diddy, it almost seems like it would be beneficial for him to take out the competition, if you know what I mean. Take out the competition. And Biggie was and could have well been his competition once he decided to leave the label and all this other stuff. A lot of people that don't follow a lot of the hip hop, stuff from like ages ago, this is brand new to a lot of folks. And I get it. But some of us remember when Keefe D died, or excuse me, when Pac died, when Biggie died. We remember a lot of the ins and outs of this. So I guess we'll see what comes out of their investigation. I think we're all going to find a link. I think it's always been said. Yes, a lot of us, we grew up, like the millennial crowd grew up with these artists. A lot of things they've done or put in their music was so normalized, and we probably didn't understand what they were saying. That's right. I agree with you on that. So much of what was said out there has been normalized and made musics. Let's see. All the beautiful souls who've passed on, the ones I really liked listening to their music and their artistry. Really. I agree with you on that. Hey, Kraken. Belen says, I'm sure Diddy had to have been jealous of Pac. Tupac was talented, charismatic. And yeah, you're right. Like, Tupac was, I think he had his own issues as well. Okay. Not to take away from that. But to me, he was the most outspoken, charismatic artist, one of a kind, that we will never, even now, looking at the artists now, to me, he doesn't compare. Like, you will never, even Kendrick Lamar, I'm like, when I think of, I kind of see a little parallel between Kendrick and Tupac, but honestly, like, nobody did it like Tupac. That's just how I'm gonna say that. Nobody did it like Pac. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say about that. And you imagine what would happen now if he was still alive? What music would be like if Tupac was still alive? What he would say about the things right now? You remember what he said about politicians before that became presidents? Like, all of this, you imagine what it would be like if Tupac was still alive. I don't know. I just, artistry, these people, they would never, I don't know. That's just my thought. All celebrities. Mm-hmm. Says Chemo. Shout out to Chemo. It's interesting. Create a genre to destroy their own people, man. That's why I feel like we need to also look into Biggie and that death as well. Just, I don't know. That's my thought on that. That's my thought on that. So shout out to you guys. That is what's been trending. There's been a lot of videos currently with Diddy and Justin Bieber. That's another one. I'm also working on pre-recorded videos that I need to drop possibly tomorrow on more stuff that I have found that I'm looking into. The problem is that my editor, my Filmora, blew up, and so I'm having to learn how to edit through iMovie. And I should have learned through iMovie, but I don't know. Filmora was a lot more cooler, and it's got a lot more little glitches and transitions and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, it crashed. So there's only so much I can do. Ooh-wee. All right, everybody, get it together, get it together, get it together. Let's get it together, because we're about to review this lawsuit. And let me just say, I took a little glimpse and glance to the Garth Brooks lawsuit. Now, I want to talk about this. Garth Brooks did respond to the lawsuit. Hold up. Let's pull a video real quick before we get into it. Response to lawsuit. Let's talk about it. And you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments as we review some of this, okay?
Okay, we're back now with new allegations against a country music superstar, Garth Brooks. The singer-songwriter behind hits like Friends in Low Places, now facing accusations of sexual assault.
Now, some of you guys in the comments said that song Rabbit, that Friends in Low Places song Rabbit. What do you guys think?
Is stemming from a lawsuit filed by his hairstylist and makeup artist. Here with the latest, NBC's Steve Patterson joins us now from Los Angeles. What does the lawsuit allege, Steve?
Yeah, Tom, I've looked at the lawsuit. The allegations here are stunning. They are detailed. They are graphic. And while I'll spare some of that detail here, I think it's important to issue a trigger warning to anyone watching. The suit names the alleged victim as Jane Rowe, the makeup artist first hired by Brooks' wife, Trisha Yearwood, who started working with Brooks on gigs back in 2017. The filing, however, stems from allegations in 2019, alleging Brooks repeatedly exposed himself to Rowe, shared inappropriate sexual advances and messages, and forced inappropriate touching. And according to the suit, this reaches a boiling point in May of 2019, where Rowe alleges that she is raped by Brooks in a hotel room while they're on a work trip. And the sexual remarks even increased in volume, according to the suit, after that incident. The suit saying that the trip was a Grammy Honors event here in Los Angeles. And of course, the suit filed in a California state court today.
This is the first time we've ever heard any type of allegation like this against Garth Brooks. Has he responded tonight? Do we know if he's taking any legal action?
So in this suit, it references another anonymous suit filed in a Mississippi court in September. So this is before the current suit from Rowe, with Brooks reportedly describing himself in a separate countersuit before this suit as a celebrity public figure who resides in Tennessee. That suit allegedly asked the court to declare that Rowe was leveling false allegations and to bar her from publicizing them any further. It also reportedly claimed,
which we covered in our last video, right? That, you know, Garth Brooks saw this lawsuit coming. He decided to go to court and respond and basically say, listen, I'm going to get ahead of this. And, you know, if anything gets filed, it needs to be by like a John Doe, Jane Roe type of situation, which basically protects people's identities. And then the question that I asked you guys is, Garth Brooks is making the argument that his reputation could be harmed by these allegations. Therefore, he should be allowed the opportunity to deal with this in a, you know, private matter. Should not be named in the lawsuit. And basically the judge said, no, like all of this needs to be public. This is what's going to happen. So the lawsuit drops and here we are.
Claims that she asked him for salaried employment and medical benefits, and that after he refused, her attorney sent Brooks the confidential demand letter containing the allegations that I'm reporting to you now. Her attorney team, of course, claiming this was all an attempt to silence Rowe.
And just to be clear with our viewers here, we've reached out. We've been looking for a response from Garth Brooks and his representatives, but so far we haven't heard anything back yet, right?
Nothing back yet, Tom. We have reached out to his attorney team. We are trying to get an answer there.
Okay, and when we'll bring it to you. Thanks so much. We appreciate that, Steve.
Thanks.
So they take that as a response, him trying to kind of silence the situation. Be Kind says it took over 40 women coming forward before they believed that Bill Cosby was a perpetrator. And you can't deny that. It took a lot of women, and people didn't want to believe the stuff that they said about Bill Cosby. Like, ain't that the truth? They did not want to believe anything that was said about Bill Cosby. And honestly, I had a hard time with it too, because of his personality and everything that's come. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? Everyone needs to be treated the same in the court, in my opinion. Well, I mean, if allegations came out of me, I wouldn't have the opportunity to silence anybody, right? Right? Isn't that how it is? I got me a little poppy drink, y'all. This is a pretty good flavor, cherry limeade. Check it out. See a little ASMR on the channel. It's loud. But that's my thought on that. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. What are you guys drinking? Shout out to you guys. Okay, let's get it together. Let's start reading this lawsuit. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments as we are reading this. I am not trying to sway you one way or another. I'm just reading what the lawsuit says. And depending on your opinion, y'all let me know where you fall with this, okay? We're not going to, drag each other in the chat. It's okay to agree to disagree, if that makes sense. Shout out to you guys. Alrighty. Here we go. You said, okay, hold up. Let me put this comment down. They're good, but they're expensive. Yes, they are. They're like $2.50 each, girl. They're on sale, so that's why I got it. It was like $2.50, but they are expensive. They're really good, though. I definitely recommend it if you're not trying to drink Coke or Pepsi, which I stopped drinking several months ago because it was messing with my stuff. And it was making me break out so much. So, yeah. All right, let's get it together. So plaintiff Jane Roe, all right, we're going to call her Jane Roe, hereby submits her complaint against defendant Garth Brooks and alleges the following. In 1999, plaintiff was hired to do the makeup and hairstyling for the Grammy Award-winning artist Trisha Yearwood. Miss Rowe continued to work for Miss Yearwood over the years, as well as for many other celebrities. And in 2017, she started to do makeup and hairstyling for Garth Brooks, Miss Yearwood's husband. Mm-mm-mm. By 2019, after Brooks learned that Miss Rowe was experiencing financial difficulties, he hired Miss Rowe more often. She was grateful for the additional income and thanked him repeatedly. So already in the lawsuit, we're finding out that financial difficulties was an issue for Miss Rowe at the time, hence why maybe this, like, him finding out, he's like, I'm gonna hire her to maybe help her out. Some folks would say, well, maybe that's to like take advantage of her. Maybe that could very well be the case. We don't know. Anybody that finds themselves into a financial situation, I mean, I get it. And a hairstyle is specific for the stars. Somebody that can work with you and travel with you. They make a lot of money too, so keep that in mind. The Alkali, thank you so much for the $1.99. Now, y'all do me a favor and hit that like button, okay? It is Saturday. Hit the like button or dislike, but like if you can, Thank you, love, for supporting my channel. Thank you for the 149. Thank you. All right. She was grateful for the additional income and thanked him repeatedly. It did not take long for Brooks to take advantage of her financial hardships. Brooks sees what he saw an opportunity to subject a female employee to a side of Brooks that he conceals from the public. This side of Brooks believes he is entitled to sexual gratification when he wants it, and using a female employee to get it is fair game. One day in 2019, when Miss Rowe was at Brooks' house to style his hair and do his makeup, she looked up in horror as Brooks walked out of the shower naked with an erection and pointed his area at Miss Rowe, came directly towards her. He grabbed her hands and forced them onto his erect area. Brooks appallingly told Miss Rowe that he had fantasized about this moment and wanted her to perform oral on him so that he could come all over her face, specifically while she was wearing glasses, while she had her glasses on. Okay. Shocked and confused, Miss Rowe pulled back and said she was not going to do what he wanted. Knowing that she needed the work, however, Brooks correctly predicted that Miss Rowe did not leave. Thoughts so far? All right, let me stop right here. Let me know your thoughts. You had no idea about the situation and have no knowing of it. I do believe innocent until proven guilty. I think everybody stands on that, right? Beautiful messy ball. Let me know what you guys think so far in the comments. Unapproachable light says, I kind of believe it. He seems to have a bit of darkness in your opinion. Gotcha. Let's see what else. Shout out to everybody. You said I give up on coffee. Y'all are still talking about your drinks. Shout out to everybody. Good morning. Welcome for those that are coming through. I know people are just now coming through. I truly hope he's innocent. Me and Taz says. A lot of people are saying that too. But let's keep reading and then kind of go from there, okay? You say she has been around Garth Brooks since 1999. Why would he wait 19 years? Why would he wait? Why would she wait 19 years? Is that what you mean? Well, everybody speaks at different times. I don't want to put in words for her, but I'm thinking that in my experience, every time we review these lawsuits, everybody's speaking at different times and are ready to come forward at different times of their experience, if you know what I mean. Okay. In May of 1920, Brooks asked her to travel to Los Angeles with him for a Grammy tribute to Sam Moore. Usually there are others on Brooks' private jet, but this time Miss Rowe and Brooks were the only two passengers. Once in Los Angeles at the hotel room, Miss Rowe could not believe that Brooks had booked a hotel suite with one bedroom and did not have a separate room. After they arrived, suddenly Brooks appeared in the doorway to the bedroom, completely naked. He stood there and flexed his muscles. Miss Rowe immediately had a sick feeling in her stomach, knowing that she was trapped in the door, knowing that she was trapped in the room alone with Brooks, with no one to help and far away from Nashville. Tragically, her worst fears came true when seconds later he was towering over her with his 6 foot and almost 300-pound frame, ready to pounce on Miss Rowe, who is less than 5 feet and 100 pounds. As she began to panic, he grabbed her hands and pulled her into the room, into the next room, and onto the bed, where she could not escape his physical domination. All right. Let me put a little trigger warning, y'all. Trigger warning. Here we go. Okay. So everybody's aware, trigger warning. And I'm not looking at the chat right now. I'm just reading the papers. Once I take a break, I'll look at the chat. Okay. Brooks' R-ing of Miss Rowe was painful and traumatic. Having no regard for her well-being and intent on his own sexual gratification at the expense of Miss Rowe's physical, mental, and emotional trauma, at some point during the nightmare, Brooks even held her small body upside down by her feet and penetrated her. Hoo-wee. It is so hard when you're reading these not to kind of like think just graphically of some of the things that are being said here. Okay. All right. Let's keep reading. She was helpless to move from his grip and terrified at what was happening to her. While he held her upside down, dangling by her ankles, all the blood rushed to her head, causing her to be dizzy and sick. While Brooks forcefully penetrated her, he said perverted things to Miss Rowe about his sexual prowess. It really is, Alicia. So if y'all need to like log off, I ain't getting mad, okay? Do what you got to do, okay? Yeah, so just imagine the details are very specific, okay? Brooks also repeatedly slammed his penis onto her area, causing Miss Rowe back to keep hitting his body over and over with such force she felt as if he was breaking her in two. Disgustingly, Brooks insisted that Miss Rowe wear her eyeglasses while he carried out his sexual assault fantasies. With cold disregard for Miss Rowe, when Brooks was finished, it was business as usual. Excuse me. Miss Rowe worked quickly to style his hair and do his makeup for the event, so he was on time. Whoo-wee. Be kind. Thank you for the 10. Shout out to you, Be Kind. A lawyer said in an interview a few years back that if her sister were to get ARD, she would tell her to go to therapy, not court, because women are re-victimized and aren't believed. You know what? Be Kind. I wish. Now, I know we have like victims advocacy, but I do truly, truly wish that there would be something so that victims would, like, while they're going through either civil or criminal litigation of the allegations, that they were somehow offered a level of like mental health or support while they're going through this process. Because, and although like some would say, well, that's an indication of guilt or whatever, not really, because whether while they're going through this process, it could very well be a situation where they're maybe recounting something at that moment, and it could be a variety of things, y'all. That's why I'm like, I always feel like regardless of the circumstances, victims do need a level of support. Folks don't understand. No worries, Running Bear. Shout out to you, love. I appreciate everybody that needs to step out, because like I said, it's going to be graphic. I think that therapy is always a must when it comes to the, like, if you're going through it, whether it's civil or criminal. That's what I feel. Often the district attorney doesn't work for the victims. I hope everybody knows that when you're going through, any type of criminal case, the victim's attorney, like the state And those attorneys are for the state and the people, not for the victims. They may offer you victim support or victims advocacy, but it's not always like 100 the best, if that makes sense. And this is somebody coming from an outside perspective. Like, there's never enough support for anybody coming out of anything, whether you believe the victim or not, because you honestly don't know whether they are living some, trauma from a past assault or something like that. It's always good to have a victim advocate, civil or criminal court. But who's going to pay for that? That's always the issue. Do we have enough of that? No, we don't. So be kind. Thank you for your $10, your 10 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. There's never enough. You're right. It wouldn't surprise me if that is the message from that attorney. Thank you. Okay. Brooks subjected Miss Rowe to other appalling sexual conduct, all of which took place while Miss Rowe was working for him. That includes, but not limited to, the following. Brooks openly talked about sexual subjects in front of Miss Rowe, including, for example, is it cunnilings? Lord have mercy. Let me look up this word because I want to make sure I said it. Hold up, y'all. Cunnilingus. That's the word. For those that don't know what that is, it is hold up. Shout out to everybody. Sorry, y'all. I just want to make sure that I give you the accurate definition and that I don't mispronounce things. Definition. Or say things wrong. It's oral sex act consisting of simultation of a vulva by using the tongue and lips. Well, there you go. That's what that is. I feel like I got basically oral. Like, why not just say oral? There you go. Oral for women. There you go. I'm like, just say oral. That's what it is. Thank you. Brooks regularly changed his clothing in front of Miss Rowe and often purposefully exposes genitals and buttocks to Miss Rowe, knowing that she would respond with a look of horror and disgust. Thank you, medical. Thank you. The more you know, right? Chris Blessings, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you guys. Yeah. Brooks repeated the sexual fantasies he said when he came out of the shower with an erection and forced his hands on his penis to Miss Rowe and forced her to listen to other fantasies he had about her performing acts on him. Brooks sent Miss Rowe sexual explicit text messages and pressured her to engage in sexting with him. Now, we do see a text message, by the way. It is very detailed. Very detailed. After the sexual assault in Los Angeles, Brooks increased the frequency of saying his fantasies about her out loud, along with his physical gropings of her areas while she was doing his hair and makeup. Other fantasies or other sexual explicit remarks by Brooks included him telling Miss Rowe that he had fucked multiple women in every corner of a hotel room, white, black, brown, or whatever, and also said that he had done so on every surface in the hotel room. Oh my God. Listen, I hope that they've been cleaning those hotel rooms. I have a thing about hotel rooms. I don't know about you guys. Let me stop. I hate going to hotel rooms and I hate that. Just always feel like I'm walking into something that's not very clean. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about that. Chris, thank you for becoming a member. Shout out to you. I don't know if I shouted you out. I don't know, something about hotel rooms that I'm like, it is way too detailed. Just so everybody's aware. Yes. That's right. The real deal. The key for this particular lawsuit is that everybody else had a similar experience with him. Oh, then he's goose. Yeah, right. Like, if everybody's going to share the same experience, because we only know of one, we don't know if there's others. Y'all notice that? So if there's other women that come out, this is going to be like, oh my God, people are going to be like, what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean? Let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep it going. Shout out to you guys. You said I whipped that hotel account. I'm just saying, be kind. Like, I don't know about you guys. Y'all notice I was a hotel housekeeper and really? And just don't think about it. I just always get some, like, I used to travel a lot and I used to be going to hotels and, I would do that. And it always, I'm not going to lie to you because I'm like, I always feel some type of way about the rooms that I go to. I just never know. You know what I mean? And it just makes me think of different things. That's all. But anyways, don't do that. Beautiful Messy Boys like took a UV light to a hotel room. You would never stay in one again. Oh my God. I believe it. I believe it. I'm not, I believe it. Anyways. But I think the other side to this too is that, like, if he is saying, and this is what this woman is, Miss Rowe is saying that this is what Garth told her, okay, allegedly in this complaint, that he took her, like, that he has taken women to every corner of a hotel and every surface, which then my hope is that this was all consensual, okay? That's my hope, okay? Because if you have a situation where you have this, Jane Roe, then you have other Jane Roes that come out, this is not going to be good, okay? But let me keep reading. All right. Brooks' increased frequency of his sexual charge conversations included his repeated remarks about having a threesome with his wife, Miss Yearwood, in which he suggested that Miss Rowe would be the third person, which Miss Rowe believes Brooks' wife overheard on at least one occasion. Ooh. On too many occasions to list, Brooks would stare at Miss Rowe's breasts and pressure Miss Rowe to open her shirt to allow him to physically touch her breasts for purposes of his arousal, after which Brooks would then masturbate. And regarding this, Brooks, who said he would take care of himself, also told Miss Rowe that he could not let her see because when I come, it's in gallons. Oh my God. You said comment, he retired while raising the kids and wasn't appearing in public. It would be interesting to see if he claims of his essaying her align with him returning to the stage. Right, Kraken? I kind of wonder about this. Yeah, no. It's a lot of details. A lot of detail. You said, shout out to Steve. He's like, oh my God. It's a lot of details, y'all. All right. Okay. In late October 2019, Brooks brought Miss Rowe to Los Angeles for 5 days, during which he physically groped her body, including her breasts. Miss Rowe was terrified to be in a hotel again, worried that he would force himself on her. Her fears were justified, as one morning when Miss Rowe went to Brooks' room to do his hair and makeup, he was on the bed face down, wearing loose shorts and holding his crotch, and made it clear that he made it clear what he wanted to do. He had done before in Los Angeles with Miss Rowe on May 11th. Miss Rowe managed to escape the situation because he was running late and people were waiting to pick him up. I wonder if anybody witnessed anything from his team, because it can't just be Miss Rowe that was working here. Like, I wonder if there was other things that other people, were witnessing as well. At times, Brooks implied the groping of her breasts would continue despite Miss Rose insisting this was unwanted. For example, one time when he said while groping her, "Next time we mess around," and Miss Rowe clearly said no, he became visibly angry at Miss Rowe and left. The frequency was such that it was inevitable that other employees of Brooks likely saw or heard instances of unwanted physical groping of her breasts while she was styling his hair and doing his makeup. So we got some witnesses here. Is anybody going to be writing any statements here? Because we got some witnesses that allegedly this is what's being said. Okay. In or about May 2020, Brooks, while speaking to his manager, Ann, with his wife, also present directly in front of Miss Rowe, talked about inventing a shampoo bottle that that would double as a dildo. What? When Miss Rowe became uncomfortable and would not join the conversation, Brooks became upset and slammed his fist down on the kitchen counter in frustration so hard that items on the counter moved, and he leaned in and spoke in a threatening manner to Miss Rowe. Following this incident, Miss Rowe sent a text to Brooks. I have thought a lot about the conversation of last Monday. I can't work in an environment where explicit sexual comments are made about shampoo bottles doubling as dildos. I mean you no harm. And if you truly value my work, I'm happy to show up tomorrow and or whenever you may need my service. We have a text message that says that. Where she's telling him this. What does he say? What's the response? Oh my God. Okay, here we go. During phone conversations in 2020, after she told Brooks that she was upset, he told his wife that Miss Rowe had seen his penis. Brooks tried to minimize what happened and said, "Oh, sweetheart, for one, I think I know Trisha pretty well, and she wasn't uncomfortable. And I said you saw my stuff. That was it. You were talking about something, and it just came up. Look, I'm worried you are overthinking this." So he acknowledges that the stylist saw his area. If that's the message communication between the two of them, yeah, no, I don't know what to make of this. What do y'all think? Let me know. You said the audacity, violence. Well, I mean, this is they have communication, and I think I saw in the footnotes that there was communication like this between them. You think he's minimizing? Little Miss says gaslighting. Let me know what y'all think. Thank you. Look at this. Craig is like, I got ahead. The bottom says, here you go. There's the footnote. Yep. I haven't even read that part yet. Any email, text, or content of telephone conversation placed within quotations herein and are direct quotes from the documents or audio recordings. So they have documentation of this. Lord have mercy. All right. All right. And by the way, somebody, I think was it Sylvia? Shout out to my Discord folks. Let me let everybody know that we are live for those because those might be we are live. Somebody told me in there that Garth had sold some of his assets and it was talked about. So people believe that he might have already seen this lawsuit coming and he was like, okay, let me sell some of these things. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let me see what you guys are saying. Welcome everybody. Okay. After the sexual assault in Los Angeles, Brooks told Miss Rowe about a mysterious text message he received in which a person claimed that Brooks had ruined his life. In a phone conversation about this text, Brooks said he had no idea who had texted him the messages and suggested that he thought it was Miss Rowe's husband who had sent the text and tried to get her to reveal her husband's phone number. Sorry about that. Brooks told Miss Rowe, I never want to hurt anybody. So that one, the mysterious text, it bothered me. It bothered me. I didn't know the number. Still referring to the supposed text message, Brooks also said, and that killed me. It broke my heart. Like God, I never wanted to hurt anybody. So I was just scared to death. Brooks then started to talk about the fact that Miss Rowe had not worked for Brooks for several months. So he had one of his employees call her to see what was happening. And then, when they called you for work and you couldn't do it for 2 months, I thought, oh crap. That's what I thought. Oh crap. So I was trying to seek you out to come and talk or whatever I needed to do. Just I don't want to hurt anybody, man. And I don't and just I just felt bad. Okay. And I just felt bad. All right. So here, this is how I'm picturing this. Jane Roe stops working for Garth for 2 months. Okay. After that incident, right? Because it bothered her, right? She was uncomfortable. And then there was the alleged assault that happened. So she stops working with him. And then Garth starts sending his employees to go find out, like, what's going on. She hasn't been around for like 2 months. What's the deal? All right. And then it occurred to Garth, oh shit, like that maybe it goes back to when you and I were working, that incident with the shampoo bottle and potentially the assault or whatever, the alleged assault. And that's what they're referencing here. And they have this on the footnotes, they have this in conversation, in communication, at least the shampoo bottle looking like a dildo type of situation. That's what it looks like. That peg, that's an important piece. So this is what Garth wanted to silence, right? Kragen said this comes across out of context. It definitely does. If we're only getting quotes, you know what I mean? Like, what's the backstory? Were they all like joking around sexually? And not to say that that's okay, because it's never okay if that is your place of work. But what was the backstory behind that? And I also think that regardless if that's your boss, should never be joking around about dildos looking like shampoos or using dildos as shampoos. Hey, Steve-O, welcome. And that's my thought on that. You know what I mean? Evidence for a better understanding. Right. This sounds like a relationship to me, a gross relationship, but it feels like he thought that they were one thing. She thought differently. Really? Say more, Michelle. Say more. You think it's definitely like a power or superiority dynamics type of situation. And what did Trisha see? You said coercive control. He might have even threatened her, right? Could very well be the case. We don't really know. If you know what I mean. You said I'm not going there with that. Gotcha. Okay, so let's keep reading. Okay, he says, of course, Brooks knew that the sexual assault and rape that he had subjected Miss Rowe to in Los Angeles was bad. And further, she had told him about the severe back and neck pain she was experiencing. Concerned about the repercussions if she denied him the ability to sexually force himself onto her again, Miss Rowe said on a call to Brooks in 2020, I want to make sure that even though I've told you no, that you're cool with no. I mean, no, as in no fooling around like we had done. You are cool with that, right? So the footnote of the lawsuit says that they have recordings of this. If on the other page of the footnote, it says that they have recordings of this. So she says, I want to make sure that you're okay with that. I mean, no, as in no fooling around. But see, when she says it like that, it implies like they agreed to it. Like, no fooling around like we had done. You are cool with that, right? Does that make sense? Yeah, there's record. That's what they're saying on the footnotes. That's what I'm saying. Do they have evidence for every single claim? You said he sounds pretty predatory. This is crazy. So I'm kind of wondering about this piece because I'm really confused. You know what I mean? By just the I feel like we're missing a lot of context here. Okay. Yeah. Like she said, oh, I wish she didn't do that. Like it says it right here. I mean, no, as in no fooling around like we had done. Are you cool with that? Right. When she says it, does she mean like when this is the part that confuses me. You totally understand this? Say more. You think more women are going to come out? Okay. All right. So she was fearful that despite what he said, that Brooks was angry and upset with her. Miss Rose said, when I saw you with another musician artist, you were pretty upset with me, incredibly. Brooks replied as following: no, I would never be upset with you. Look at it this way, okay? Look at it this way. The best way I can explain it is me and you broke into a jewelry store. And the second we broke the door, we looked at each other and said, this ain't right. But we had already broken the door. And so I think me and you get out and ran and just hope that nobody ever finds out and just love one another and be friends. Is that fair? Hold up. What? You said, can you revisit what was shared the other day about her asking for either a raise or benefits full time? Yeah, I will in a minute. Okay, you said she didn't change her mind. She didn't have the words to explain what happened to her, says Jessica. How do you explain this right here? How do y'all explain that? Well, it's a weird, it's almost like listen, you and I, we went to a jewelry store. We decided to rob the jewelry store, and somebody died in the jewelry store. I don't know why. Like in my mind, I'm thinking we didn't mean to, but we already did it. So, and the person died. Oh well, we'll never do it again. We'll love each other, but we'll forget the fact that somebody died there. You know, something to that effect, or like just the regular. I'm just thinking of like, this is a weird analogy to put that there. Right, right. I'm kind of wondering about this too, y'all. Like, is she the only one? You can't, yeah, you can't explain it from like we need, even though there's footnotes in there. Are they saying that they got recordings of him saying this? Let me go back. Okay, this is page 6. Hold up. On the footnote on page 5, it says any email, text, or content of phone conversations placed within quotations herein are direct quotes from the documents or audio recordings. So she was recording him when all this was being said. Okay. Shout out to everybody. I just want to make sure we understand that. Yeah, you said, in my opinion, it sounds like she was cool with it at first, you said? What do you mean, like, but she's saying that she was assaulted, though. That's the thing, Steeler Princess. Let me know what you think. Because she's saying, like, so, this is where I think a lot of us are going to be divided. I guess I got to hear the recordings. She didn't consent, so she was playing it off as if she wanted to be done, as if it wanted to be done, so that she was. Yeah, so just to make sure that he wasn't going to do it again, like assault her again, allegedly. Right. It seems like I could see that part. Right. Allegedly or recorded text, still a claim without us seeing the evidence. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Yes, there is. It sounds like there's recordings and stuff like that. Okay. So let's keep reading. So he gives this crazy analogy. All right, now here we go. Brooks told her in 2020, I work with the best, and I don't want to do something stupid that breaks this team up. So I will do whatever I need to do or whatever I don't need to do. But I just want to keep working with you. But if you feel weird working with me, it's fine. We don't have to work together. In response, Ms. Rose said, I've never found myself in a situation that is, I just don't know what I'm going to be able to, I just don't know that I'm going to be able to look up from. And I'm a little frightened of you. I really am. Brooks said, sweet baby, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine. That makes me frightened of you. Oh, okay. Yeah, we definitely need more information here. It just feels off. In this conversation, Miss Rowe explained that it would be difficult to work with Brooks again, to which Brooks said, I'm asking you to work together forever. And you have a place here as long as you want it. I'm lucky to have you. I don't want this to go anywhere. And I don't want something that happened in the moment to screw the whole 20 years I've known you. Oh, shit. Okay. In addition to phone calls, there were multiple text exchanges between Brooks and Miss Rowe. But while Miss Rowe was at a studio with Brooks to style his hair in 2020, Brooks took her phone and deleted most of the text messages that he had sent to her containing explicit sexual content. Eventually, Miss Rowe was unable to continue working for Brooks, and she sought legal counsel about what had happened. In addition, in or about May 2021, Miss Rowe moved to Mississippi. When Miss Rowe's counsel contacted Brooks and disclosed the fact that Miss Rowe was prepared to file a complaint in California to hold him accountable for his sexual assault, and even shared a copy of the draft California complaint with Brooks, he used the fact that Miss Rowe had dared to speak about the harm he forced on her as an opportunity to inflict even more harm and pain on Miss Rowe, specifically while pretending to be in discussions with Miss Rowe to resolve her legal claims against him. On September 13th, 2024, Brooks filed a preemptive abuse complaint against Miss Rowe under the I can't even pronounce this word. Judgment Act. We're gonna speak. I'm gonna skip it for now because I'm getting tongue tied. Hold up, maybe I need to take a drink. In the United States District Court for the Southern District of Mississippi, Northern Division, entitled John Doe versus Jane Roe. So that was the case that was, you guys, that's what we were talking about. Abusive Mississippi action. This is what we were referencing last time, if y'all remember. Okay. Incredibly, in the abusive Mississippi action, Brooks labeled himself the victim and claimed that Ms. Rowe was a lying extortionist who intended on destroying his professional reputation. Brooks alleged that she threatened to file her complaint in California only because Brooks refused to give her a raise and pay for health insurance. Now, does Garth have any communication that would support that? Like, is it just hearsay, or like does he have like a document, or like, I'm just wondering. That's kind of what I'm wondering. It's weird. It's weird. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. You said it was a weird analogy. Definitely. Excuse me. I think, Michelle, I think that's what he's trying to say. Honestly, he's trying. So his argument is going to be that it was an affair. And her argument is that this was sexual assault. And honestly, without really knowing all the, like they're not giving us a whole lot of evidence, I do wonder like what's the in between. So people are going to kind of wonder about this too. And I could see this too as well. I definitely could understand a situation where power and control is being used. There's that too. Okay, let's keep reading, y'all. No, Kim, it's never okay. It's not whatsoever. What I'm saying is that I could see the argument of somebody saying that, if you know what I mean, versus like that being his argument, if you know what I mean. I could see that somebody using that as an argument. I'm just saying that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's keep reading. The abuse of Mississippi action by Brooks. The abuse of Mississippi action by Brooks is a blatant attempt to further control and bully his sexual assault victim by utilizing his multi-millionaire resources to game the legal system. Let's see. As part of the lawsuit he filed against Miss Rowe in desperation, Brooks simultaneously filed a motion to proceed under the pseudonym John Doe. The basis for which, as described by Brooks, was because he was a well-earned reputation as a decent and caring person. And therefore, if the sexual assault allegations are disclosed, he says it would create unavoidable damages to his family. Yeah. Gotcha. No worries, Kim. Shout out to you. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure Garth has documentation that she wanted a raise in healthcare benefits. Veronica, do you think so? Because I would think that that would be an argument that he would make. If you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much for the 5. You said he's the person in a position of power. If he has no supporting evidence, I believe Jane Roe. Shout out to you. Is it Julesy Bob? Is that how you say your name? Shout out to you, love. Julesy Bob. Thank you. Thank you. I think I think we're gonna see what court plays out at this point, because I think I could see where people are gonna like figure out like, where do you stand, what do you say, how do you where do you go from here and everything. So I want to know more information at this point. Yeah, no means without consent. Do the crime, expect the time, right? You said weird if they have evidence of him saying he will do anything to not break up the team, then he says he wouldn't give her a raise and pay health benefits. Yeah, Maya, I'm kind of wondering what it is that they have all together. And there's probably stuff here that we don't even know, if you know what I mean. You from his side, Veronica, that's the argument they're going to give, like, these are your health benefits. But here's the deal is, if she was able to leave, because in that other part, in the other paragraph, it says that she was able to leave for a couple months. Like she left after that event or that incident with the shampoo bottle, and everybody was asking, well, where's she at? What happened? So I feel like I need a little bit more information, but maybe we'll get it as time goes by. Okay. Okay. If the sexual assault allegations are disclosed, he says it would create unavoidable damages to his family. Brooks is desperate to prevent his millions of fans from learning about the horrific thing that he has said and done to junior female employee who did nothing to deserve such treatment. But our legal system is not in place to allow wealthy wrongdoers the ability to run workarounds on sexual assault victims who attempt to hold perpetrators accountable. Yet, this is precisely what Brooks is trying to do in the Abuse of Mississippi action. As set forth, Ms. Rowe commences this action pursuant to the California Sexual Abuse and Cover-up Accountability Act, because her claims are based on conduct that occurred on January 1st, 2009 and commenced after January 2019. Ms. Rowe seeks all appropriate relief to redress Brooks' egregious and unlawful actions in violation of common law torts for assault and battery in violation of California state statute for sexual battery. Now, here are the parties. We know it's Jane Roe and Garth Brooks and jurisdiction venue. Okay, let me go to here. Facts common to all causes of actions. Okay, so we know that Garth Brooks is a 2-time Grammy award-winning country music. Let's see. He sold second only to the Beatles in total albums sold. I didn't know that. He's 62 years old. His estimated net worth is 400 million. Okay, so and Forbes estimated that he made 45.5 million in 2018 alone. When he's not recording and selling, Brooks is involved in numerous foundations and charities, including many dedicated to children. For example, he founded the Garth Brooks Teammates for Kids Foundation. Okay, that's just giving us some info. And then his work. Hold up. Let's see. Brooks' wife, Miss Yearwood, has publicly said that about Brooks' volunteer work with Habitat for Humanity the following: with Garth's generous is the word that comes to mind. He really takes joy in helping others. All right. So it just tells about them as celebrities helping children, yada, 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 helping the Vatican. Okay, Miss Rowe, here's her background. Miss Rowe is a professional makeup artist and hairstylist who has worked in the music industry for more than 30 years. Her work garnered her a loyal list of clients, many of whom are household names. Through her hard work, skill, and dedication, Miss Rowe has performed the hairstyling and makeup for celebrities, appearing in countless publications such as Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, InStyle, and then Nash magazine. Additionally, she's received numerous credits in advertising campaigns involving top celebrity brands and her work in television and commercial and in films. Okay, here's my question. She's got a lot of credits. My question is, wouldn't she also be considered a public person as well? Like, I know she's a victim, but I'm wondering, like, she also has a lot of clearly a lot of work, but I'm wondering if she would also be considered a public. How long till the courts say, well, you can't remain a public person as well? Because it sounds like she's gotten a lot of work in the industry. I do wonder, like, what steps the attorney is going to take to keep her safe, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? That's it. That's all. That's what I hear. You said I heard on another platform that Garth is going to countersue. That's what the rumor is. He has proof of a letter where he alleged the abused second party woman wanted Gardner to settle immediately for a certain dollar amount. Ooh, June says I'm suspect of any celebrity involved in a charity. Okay. Because it looks like a cover up. Gotcha. Let's see. What exactly does she gain? Like, she knows it will be negative press. And that's what I'm saying is, like, what does she have to gain from this? If anything, she's not Garth Brooks, right? And that's the question that I have, because they could very well make her public too. They will keep her name quiet until it goes to trial in many cases. For how long though? Because she will probably struggle with getting any kind of job too, which is what happens to a lot of people that come out and speak out against celebrities, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's keep going. Throughout her career, Ms. Rowe has collaborated with many of the top professional photographers in the world. Unfortunately, in late 2018, the pressure on Ms. Rowe to provide financial support for her family increased, and she needed to take on as much work as she could handle. Ms. Rowe shared her financial challenges with Brooks and his wife. Brooks praised on Ms. Rowe's hardship. As part of the work for Brooks, Ms. Rowe traveled to stadiums for concerts such as Notre Dame as part of the tour in October 2018, and to studios for filming of commercials and interviews, such as in December 2018 in New York City for the CBS Morning Show. She often performed work for him at the home he shared with his wife. Brooks intentionally fondled, grabbed, and kissed his wife in close physical proximity to Miss Rowe in a way that made Miss Rowe feel extremely uncomfortable. Whoa. In addition, Brooks would tell Miss Rowe that he thought it was hot to see his wife be with another woman sexually, and implied that she could be the other woman. Although it was disturbing, she did not respond to the suggestion. Miss Rowe had worked for Miss Yearwood since 1999 and worried that Miss Yearwood would hear things he was saying to Miss Rowe and would be upset with her, even though, of course, such behavior was initiated by Brooks. Okay. For example, Brooks openly talked about sexual subjects in front of Miss Rowe, including the oral. We'll just say oral here. Brooks regularly changed his clothing in front of Miss Rowe and often purposefully exposed his genitals and buttocks to Miss Rowe, knowing that she would respond with a look of horror and disgust. In 2019, when she was at Brooks' home to do his hair and makeup, Miss Rowe set up her supplies in the bathroom as usual. But while she was setting it up, Brooks started taking a shower in front of her, then came out naked with an erection pointing directly. I think this is part of what it was being alleged earlier. In shock, before she knew what to do, he grabbed her hands and forced them onto his area. Disgustingly, Brooks said that he wanted to go down on him. Okay, we read this part. We don't need to reread that. After this event, Brooks continued to repeat this particular fantasy. We read that. So this is like a copy and paste of what was said earlier. So this is what they're stating is facts. Okay. Brooks sent Miss Rowe explicit text messages and pressured her to engage in sexting with them. Okay. So on too many occasions, Brooks. Okay, we read this part. Why are they repeating it here? The whole gallon thing is there again. Okay. Yes, we read that. So sexual assaults in California, April 30th to May 1st, 2019. May 11th, 2019, where she worked in Los Angeles. Okay. There were only 2 passengers on a private jet, which was unusual. Once in Los Angeles at the hotel, Miss Rowe was shocked to learn. Okay, this we've already read. Like they literally copied and pasted what's already been up there. This part right here about, hold up, Brooks grabbed her hand and pulled her into the room onto the bed. Miss Rowe, less than 5 feet and 100 pounds, was no physical match for Brooks, who is 6 feet and weighs almost 300 pounds and regularly lifts weights. Okay, we've read this part. I don't want to repeat things that we've already read because it's already like too much to read. Brooks insisted that Miss Rowe wear glasses. Okay, no, we read that. Knowing exactly what he was doing and the pain he was forcing her to endure against her will, at one point, Brooks even said to Miss Rowe that he knew he was hurting her. Do you have a message for this too? Disgustingly, this only caused him to drop her from an upside-down position and force her over to a small love seat, where, after placing her down, Brooks engaged in other acts too graphic to include in the complaint. Oh my God, that's crazy. She was terrified. Okay. See, with cold disregard for Miss Rowe, when Brooks was finished, it was business as usual. We read that part. Miss Rowe was physically ill and already in pain by the time they flew back to Nashville. In fact, a migraine had already started. In the weeks after this horrific violence, Miss Rowe experienced debilitating pain in her neck and lower back, which she saw medical treatment for. Okay, look at this. So she did go to a medical provider for this. In addition, she had seek treatment from her OBGYN for damages Brooks caused during her Los Angeles trip. There you go. So we're going to have some receipts of this as well. I mean, and I hate to put it this way, but medical stuff. Like a doctor's going to see that and he's going to be like, this clearly was something here. There's some trauma here. How was this trauma caused? Okay, if they travel to an event and the timeline is in the event, there's that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, let's keep reading. Yeah, we got doctors. Okay. That's going to get pulled in. So people say, well, why didn't you go to the police? Well, we have other receipts, other medical providers for those that are saying that. Hold up. Clap. If this was in 2019, the hospital had a duty to report what the hell is going on here. Craig, and you'd be amazed how often these hospitals will report shit. You'd be like, I'm just at this point with all the Diddy stuff that's been happening, be amazed how many of these people get bought off, paid off, or don't report or don't want to get involved. This is like crazy. It just doesn't surprise me. Even the law enforcement, You said, I have a different take on this one, and I thought I would never say it. I think what this whole thing with Brooks is an inappropriate relationship going very bad and someone wanting to bid. So you think, Andrea, shout out to you. And you're not the only one who feels that. I see some people in the chat that feel like, and like I said, y'all, I told you guys we're going to facilitate a conversation that allows for people to think differently. Okay. Some folks feel like this doesn't sound right. There's some concerns. And some folks feel like, no, this is a victim, y'all. Like we need to, understand that. And I can understand, like, I want to be able to facilitate both conversations, if that makes sense. Okay. So keep that in mind. But if we're having that conversation in the chat, y'all got to be challenged by each other. Okay. That's what this is about. All right. Okay. Let's keep going. All right. And here's the question that I have before I even go, I don't want to lose this. for those like Andrea, for those that are saying, well, this is about a payout, what if another woman comes forward or another person comes forward? Is that going to change your mind about this? What if another person comes forward? Is that going to be different? Are y'all going to land a little bit different? Because I do think it goes to say, like, nobody believed Cassie when she came forward. That lawsuit was settled right away. And then the video came out. What if another person comes forward? What then? All right. Let's keep reading. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys for being respectful. So, sadly, during the summer of 2019, the trauma from Brooks' rape became so unbearable for Miss Rowe that she planned to commit suicide. She felt hopeless and did not see how she would move past what had happened. Unfortunately, she did not act on her thoughts and managed to continue to keep moving and showing up and earning money to support her family. She knew that she could not say anything to Brooks or anyone who worked for him about what he had done. This is why when Brooks asked her to work with him on another job in Los Angeles, she agreed to go. On October 28th, 2019, Brooks and Miss Rowe travel with him back to California for 5 days of work. On this trip back to Los Angeles for 5 days, Miss Rowe was terrified to be in the hotel room. And this we've already read. Unfortunately, other employees were on the trip and in close proximity within the hotel. We read this part. And let's keep going. Her fears that he would subject her to unwanted sex were justified as the morning when Miss Rowe went to Brooks' room to do his hair and makeup, he was on the bed face down wearing loose shorts. We read this part. Some of this is like copy and paste from like what was already put in there. Let me just see if anything else pops in here that is different. So this is where the wife overheard the conversation, the sexually charged conversation. So Trisha has been mentioned in this lawsuit. Hold up, let me see what else. After sending the text message, she wrote an email with here we go. Okay. In or about May 2020, Brooks, while speaking to his manager, Randy, and Miss Yearwood directly in front of Miss Rowe, talking about inventing a shampoo bottle. We got to that part with the dildo. Okay. I have thought a lot about the conversation last Monday. That's what she messaged him. I can't work in an environment where explicit sexual comments are made about shampoo bottles doubling as dildos. I mean, you no harm, but I truly value your work, and I'm happy to show up tomorrow or whenever you may need me. After sending the text, she wrote an email with the same content and copied Miss Yearwood on that email. So Trisha was well aware in that email. And I mean, the dates are going to be everything, right? Additionally, during phone conversations in 2020, Brooks said the following to Miss Rowe. After she told Brooks that she was upset he told his wife Miss Rowe had seen his penis, Brooks tried to minimize it. Okay, we read that part. Some of this is just copied over. Hold up. Yeah, I'm not going to reread this. And then there's that me and you broke into a jewelry store and kind of like that verbiage to try to minimize, I don't know, the situation. In his abusive Mississippi action, Brooks said Miss Rowe falsely accused him of sexual misconduct. He will not be able to explain her why he told her in 2020, I work with the best and I don't want to do something stupid that breaks this team. So I will do whatever I need to do, whatever I don't need to do. But I just want to keep working with you. And if you feel weird working with me, it's fine. We don't have to work together. In response, Ms. Rose said, I've never found myself in a situation that is. Yeah, we read this part. Phone call. So they have receipts for all of this. I love you to death, honey, but I don't ever want to see you cry or hurt. Oh my God. Okay. We've seen this. There's even a smiley face emoji. Brooks uses more than one cell phone and sometimes uses different names and email addresses to communicate with Miss Rowe. He would tell Miss Rowe ahead of time that it would be him sending her communication under a different name. For example, in 2019, he texted her to use a certain email address with the woman's name. It will come back to you as woman's name, first and last name, but it is me, smiley face emoji. Although Brooks thought that he deleted everything on Miss Rowe's phone, he did not, and some text messages, including those in which he encouraged Miss Rowe to speak in a sexualized manner to him, which such his messages referring to his huge stick. Because a woman's name he used is that of an employee, Miss Rowe has not included this here. So he was using his employee's name to send messages. Okay, here's one. Redacted. Warm fact, and that huge stick you carry, Roosevelt. I'll take that nickname. Thank you. I love you. Oh, shit. Okay. Well, there's a message right there. Oh, man. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. Based on the information set forth, which is a sampling of some, but not all of the acts Brooks subjected her to, it is obvious why he resorted to such a drastic measure as filing the abuse of Mississippi action. Brooks is desperate to prevent his million of fans from learning about his horrific things that he has said and done to a junior female employee who did nothing to deserve such treatment. Fortunately, Brooks is not entitled to misuse legal statutes, such as the Declaratory Judgment Act, to further harm Miss Rowe. Oh, man. And this is just repeating. While Miss Rowe has been victimized again by Brooks, she commences legal action to hold him accountable. We're not going to read all these actions, but that's where we're at right now. And jury demand. There you go. Signatures, lawyers. What do y'all think about all of that? Let me know. Yeah. I mean, I definitely want to know. You don't understand the complaint at all. And what I'm going to do is, if you're in my Discord, I'll put the complaint there so you guys can read it for yourselves as well. It's just, first of all, I think if I employ somebody, you can't be doing that to your employees. You can't be having inappropriate conversations around your employees. You just can't be. I don't care if it's the Hollywood environment. I don't care if it's the good old boy. I don't care if any of that is the issue. You just can't be doing any of that. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the biggest red flag out of the situation, that I think we need to be mindful that clearly there was some inappropriate stuff happening. I'm going to wait. I want to get more information. That definitely seems like it's the appropriate thing to do, to get more information. You said, why not file a police report and have him arrested? I have a lot of questions about that. Well, did the medical staff file anything? Because at the end of the day, you guys can say whatever you want, whether you believe it or not, but he was her employer. If I work with somebody and my employer is sending me inappropriate text messages, whether I reciprocate it or not, that's a position and power situation that still puts somebody in a very vulnerable situation. You don't get to do that. So whether you believe her or not, at the very least, one thing you do have to believe is that Garth Brooks is inappropriate with his staff. Can we agree to that? Whether you believe the victim or not, you can believe that he was inappropriate with his staff if the messages are looking like that. And it could go both ways, right? If an employee is inappropriate with me, yes, hit the like button, please, and thank you. If an employee is inappropriate with me, I have a duty to report or get rid of or call my lawyer or figure something out, because that's not okay. If my employee is inappropriate with me and I'm inappropriate with them. It's equal. Guys, I worked in government for 10 years, and I'm telling you, whether it was a client that I was working with directly or indirectly or a staff member, if somebody was inappropriate, I'm in a position of power and I supervise people, I can get in trouble for not reporting that, right? If they're inappropriate with me, I'm also can get in trouble if I'm inappropriate with them. It works both ways. Position and power. So I think that that's something to, at least if you're not going to believe what she's saying, you do have to understand that there's a power dynamics there that needs to be reviewed at the very least, whether it's Garth Brooks or Dolly Parton. Because, like, honestly, what if it was Dolly Parton? Are y'all gonna believe it? Are you gonna say in the chat, no, not my Dolly, no, Rabbit? You just never know. You never know. Yes, and there's exactly, and there is that too. So we have to be mindful. We don't know, but it sounds like they got receipts. We go from there. Even if say, because she's alleging that this was sexual assault, which, you know, that is her allegation. But even if they were to say that she consented, even if that's the argument, he was still in a position of power. Shouldn't have happened. He shouldn't have done that. He was still her boss. Shouldn't have done that. Miss Yearwood was still the boss. Shouldn't have done that. Does that make sense? You said Dolly would never. Girl, listen, don't be, you just never know with these people. That's why I'm like, listen, I don't want to find out later there's some stuff going on. That's it. That's all, you know? I am kind of curious to know if anybody else knew at this point. All right, guys, I got to go tend to baby bunny. I'm going to let you guys go. Y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments. First of all, I want to thank the chat for being very respectful and, you know, supporting the conversation. You guys are amazing. Alkalite, thank you so much. Be kind, thank you so much. Chris, thank you. And Jules, is it Julesy Bob? Thank you so much, love. Shout out to you guys. You guys have an amazing. Oh, Belen, thank you so much for the $20, love. Thank you. Thank you, love. Appreciate it. Y'all are amazing. Hit that like button, please, and thank you. I will see you guys on the next one. You guys have a great Saturday, okay? Stay blessed. Go out, get some sun, drink some coffee or whatever. Y'all are amazing. Thank you, Belen. Bye, guys.